Good morning, students. Welcome to Bindu Dhadwal chemistry lessons. Today we'll solve another model test paper based on class 11 and chemistry. The questions that we will select will be based on term 2 syllabus. So let's begin. Which has the least first ionization enthalpy? So hydrogen and lithium belong to group 1. So lithium, as it's placed downward, has less ionization enthalpy. The other elements, helium and xenon, are noble gases, so their ionization enthalpy will be higher. So lithium will have the least first ionization enthalpy. Option D is the correct answer. Which of the following central atom has less than 8 electrons in its valence shell? This has 10, this has 12, this has 6, so it's less than 8. So BCl3 is the answer. This is electron precise, it has 8 electrons. Which of the following ion has lowest mobility in aqueous solution? So answer is lithium, because it's smaller in size and is maximum hydrated, so mobility becomes less as compared to other metals. Boric acid is used as an antiseptic. True. Which type of metals are used in photoelectric effect? So alkali metals and alkaline earth metals having low ionization enthalpy are used in photoelectric cells. Oxidation state of chromium in K2Cr2O7 is +6. Let the oxidation number of chromium be X. There are 2 chromium atoms, so 2X. So 2 into +1 plus 2x plus 7 into -2 is equal to 0. 2x is equal to 12. X is equal to +6. So answer is +6. Write the IUPAC name of the following compounds. So to name the compound, we start numbering of the chain containing the functional group. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have a 3-membered chain which is not part of this chain, so it acts as substituent. So the name will be 3-propyl hex 1-ine. In this case, this is carbon atom number 1, 2, 3. So 3-chloro-prop for 3 carbon atoms, ane-al, 3-chloropropanyl. What is homologous series? Give its important characteristics. So a series of similar constituted compounds in which the members possess the same functional group and have similar chemical characteristics is called homologous series. For example, alcohols have the same general formula CnH2n+1OH. So all its chemical properties will be based on OH, so the properties will be similar. So characteristics of homologous series are: all members possess the same general formula, 2 successive members differ by CH2 group, common functional group is there, the identical chemical properties are there, and physical properties show proper gradation with increase in molecular mass, and they are prepared by almost similar methods which are known as general methods of preparation. Next is, what is electrochemical cell and what is a redox reaction? Electrochemical cell is a device used to convert chemical energy produced in a redox reaction into electrical energy. What is a redox reaction? Redox reaction is an electron transfer reaction such that there is transfer of electron from one substance which undergoes loss of electrons, that is oxidation, to another which gains electron, that is reduction. Electrode potential different from cell potential. So electrode potential is the tendency of an electrode in an electrochemical cell to get reduced or oxidized. Cell potential refers to the total voltaic potential of electrochemical cell having 2 electrodes. Electrode potential considers a single electrode, it considers both electrodes. Electrode potential cannot be measured in isolation, that is alone. The cell potential can be measured easily using a voltmeter. Boron forms a number of hydrides with formulas BnHn plus 4 and BnHn plus 6, nidoborane and arachnoborane. These hydrides are known as boranes. Diborane is most common. Draw the structure of diborane. So in diborane B2H6, the two boron atoms have in all 6 hydrogen atoms. 4 are normal boron hydrogen bonds, 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 boron hydrogen bonds are called bridging. 2 hydrogens are called bridging hydrogens because they form a bond between boron, hydrogen and boron. They form a bridge. In this bridge, the hydrogen is present above and below this planar structure, and the boron, being sp3 hybridized, has 4 sp3 hybrid orbitals. Of these, 3 have 1 electron each. One is empty, vacant. So the vacant sp3 hybrid orbital of one boron and the empty of other borons simultaneously overlap with hydrogen. So it becomes a 3-center 2-electron bond. So this is the structure of diborane. This is bridging bond, 2 bridging bonds and 4 planar normal bonds and terminal hydrogens. The boron hydrogen bond length here is 134 picometer. Here it's 119. Here the bond angle is 120. In this case it's 97 degree. What is a banana bond? This is this 3-centered 2-electron bond, because of its typical shape, is called banana bond, where one half-filled orbital and one vacant orbital simultaneously overlaps with 1s orbital of hydrogen and form this bond. Carbon dioxide is a gas, whereas silica is a solid. So carbon atom has a small size and can form multiple bonds. This is because energy of p orbital of carbon and p orbital of oxygen is nearly same, so they can overlap with each other and form multiple bonds. In comparison, silicon has larger shape and it cannot overlap effectively with oxygen. Silicon has 3p, oxygen has 2p orbital. So silicon-oxygen double bonds are not formed. Now in case of carbon dioxide, the tetravalency is satisfied because of double bonds, so there are weak van der Waals forces of attraction, so it's a gas. Whereas in silica, the tetravalency is not satisfied, it has to form single bonds only, so it forms a network solid and is therefore solid in structure. Next question. Pollution is increasing day by day. Consider an example. Villagers usually wash clothes near a stream. One day, a large number of fish are suddenly found floating dead on lake. There is no evidence of toxic dumping, but you find an abundance of phytoplankton. Suggest a reason for the fish kill. So excessive phytoplankton, that is plant floating on the surface of water, they are decomposed by bacteria in the water, but while decomposition, the bacteria consume the oxygen dissolved in water. So there is a deficiency of oxygen. The concentration of dissolved oxygen in water becomes low. When it becomes lesser than 6 parts per million, the survival of fish becomes difficult and it dies. What is humification? It's the process of formation of humus, which is formed by decomposition of dead and decaying organic matter by microorganisms. Which compound of calcium is used in surgical bandages for setting broken bones of the body? So calcium sulfate hemihydrate CaSO4 half H2, plaster of Paris, is used in setting broken bones. What is electromeric effect? So electromeric effect is a temporary effect which comes into being when an attacking reagent attacks. And in this effect, the electrons of the multiple bond will go to one of the atoms. As a result, there is polarization. The place where electron go becomes negatively charged, and from where the electrons go becomes positively charged. So the transfer of shared pair of electrons of the multiple bond to one of the linked atoms results in electromeric effect. The phenomena of movement of electrons from one atom to another in multiple bond on the demand of attacking reagent is called electromeric effect. Discuss the principle and method of softening of hard water by organic ion exchange resin. Organic ion exchange resin are insoluble polymeric solids having joined hydrocarbon network containing a reactive acidic or basic group. When the group is acidic, it can be carboxylic or sulfonic acid group, and the organic ion exchanger is called cation exchange resin. And when it's basic, it's called anionic exchange resin, the group being OH negative or NH2. So the hard water is introduced from the bottom of the cation exchanger. Here, when the cation exchange resin is present, as water rises up, it exchanges the hardness causing cations with the hydrogen of the resin. So hydrogen of resin will come into the water, whereas the hardness causing cation will go into the resin. So the water that comes out of this cation exchanger is free from hardness causing cations. It is then introduced into an anion exchanger, organic anion exchanger. Again, when it's introduced from the bottom, the resin will this time exchange the hardness causing anions like sulfate or chloride ions. The sulfate or chloride ions of hard water will go into the resin, whereas the OH of the resin will go into the water. So eventually the water which comes out of this exchanger is free from hardness causing cation as well as anion and is now soft water. Which substance is used as a moderator in nuclear reactor? So heavy water, D2O, an oxide of isotope of protium, hydrogen, deuterium, D2O is used as moderator in nuclear reactor. Write the formula of calgon. Calgon is a compound Ne2Na4 PO3 time, which is used in treating hard water and converting it into soft water. Hydrolyte is calcium hydride, CaH2, and heavy water is D2O. Give reasons graphite is used as lubricant. Graphite has a layered structure in which graphite is arranged in hexagonal ring. 3 of the electrons of carbon in graphite are involved in covalent bonds, whereas the 4th is involved in weak van der Waals force of attraction. So because of the different layers, these different layers are held by weak van der Waals forces. Because of weak forces between layers, the layers can slip over one another, and hence graphite is soft and can act as lubricant. Concentrated nitric acid can be transported in aluminum containers. This is because aluminum will react with nitric acid, concentrated nitric acid, and become passive due to formation of very thin film of aluminum oxide. Now this thin film of aluminum oxide on aluminum will protect the remaining aluminum from the acid, and so acid can be stored in aluminum container without bringing any harm to it. Suggest a reason why the BF bond length in BF3 is 130 picometer, whereas in BF4 negative it is 143 picometer. So in BF3, the boron is sp2 hybridized and the shape is triangular planar. But the vacant p orbital, unhybridized p orbital is vacant. Or boron has a vacant unhybridized p orbital. The lone pair of fluorine is occupied in a p orbital of fluorine. This will give electrons to the vacant orbital of borine and form a pi bond. So because of formation of a double bond, the bond length becomes shorter in BF3, 130 picometer. But in BF4, the hybridization is sp3. These are all single bonds. There is no double bond. So this bond length is greater, 143 picometer. So BF3 is planar molecule in which boron is sp2 hybridized. It has empty 2p orbital. Because of similar size of boron and fluorine, back bonding occurs in which a filled electron lone pair is transferred from fluorine to empty p orbital of boron, forming p pi bond. As a result, boron fluorine acquires double bond character and is shorter. On the other hand, in BF4 negative, boron is sp3 hybridized, forms 4 bonds which are single, so bond is longer. What is a functional group? A functional group may be defined as an atom or group of atoms that determines the characteristic chemical properties of an organic compound. State second law of thermodynamics. The entropy of universe always increases in the course of every spontaneous or natural change. This is second law of thermodynamics. The enthalpy change, delta H naught, standard enthalpy change of reaction. For this reaction, N2 plus 3H2 gives 2NH3 is 92.32 kilojoules at 298 Kelvin. What is delta U? We know that delta H is delta U plus delta NGRT, where delta Ng is change in number of gaseous moles. For this reaction, products are 2, reactants are 4, so delta Ng will be 2 minus 4 is equal to minus 2. So putting the value in this equation, we get delta H is equal to delta U plus minus 2 into R into T. So delta H is 92.32 kilojoules. So in joules it is minus 92,320. And this is equal to delta U, we have to find out, plus minus 2 into R into T. On solving and taking it to this side, we get minus 92,320. This minus on coming to this side becomes plus. On solving, we get 87,365 joules or 87.365 kilojoules. This is the answer. Define entropy. Entropy may be defined as the property of a system which measures the degree of disorder or randomness in the system. What is Gibbs energy? Gibbs energy of a system is defined as the maximum amount of energy available to a system during a process that can be converted into useful work. Name the factors on which equilibrium constant depends. Temperature, direction of writing equation, stoichiometric of chemical equation, that is number of moles, and concentration unit can change the equilibrium constant. So these are the factors on which equilibrium constant depends. Define Le-Chatelier's principle. If a system in equilibrium is subjected to a change in any of the factors that determine the equilibrium conditions of system, then equilibrium will shift in the direction so as to reduce or counteract or undo the effect of the change. What do you understand by Lowry-Bronsted concept of acids and bases? According to this concept, acid is a substance which can donate a proton and base is a substance which can accept a proton. Example of Bronsted acid, HCl. Example of Bronsted base, ammonia. Why is benzene extraordinarily stable though it contains 3 double bonds? Because it's a flat molecule in which the 6 carbon atoms are engaged. They are present at the corner of a regular hexagon, and there is a pi electron charge on either side, on both the sides of each of the carbon atoms. So the pi electron cloud is rotating all over this ring rather than being confined to only 2 atoms. So because it's spread over a larger area, this is more stable and will not react just like a simple double bond of ethene. So it's more stable. Name the catalyst used in Friedel-Crafts reaction. It is anhydrous aluminum chloride. What is Wood's reaction? Alkyl halides on treatment with sodium in presence of dry ether will form an alkane with double the number of carbon atoms in alkyl halide. This reaction is called Wood's reaction. Complete the reaction. Benzene plus nitric acid in presence of concentrated sulfuric acid. So the OH of nitric acid combines with the H of benzene to form water, and NO2 gets attached. So nitrobenzene is formed along with water. So that is all in today's video. If you like the video, please do share and subscribe. Thank you. Have a nice day.